Welcome back to the Late Afternoon Show. We are your hosts. I'm Garrett.
And I'm Collin.
And this afternoon's top story, genetic enhancement. That thing that happened to Spider-Man, except on purpose.
It used to be just the stuff of comic books. Super strength, lightning speed, laser shooting out of your eyes, the usual. But due to recent groundbreaking research in the field of genetics, some of these things are actually looking possible.
Outrage over the latest move toward designer babies. For the first time, Chinese scientists use new technology to alter DNA in human embryos. The experiment could eventually help change genetic code for generations.
See, changing your appearance or your body is not a new concept. Every day, people take steroids to get inhumanly large muscles, and half of Hollywood has had plastic surgery. Remember Renee Zellweger from Jerry Maguire?
Just shut up. You had me at hello.
This is Renee Zellweger when she walked onto the red carpet in 2014.
Actress arrived to the bash in a sleek black dress that featured sheer sleeves with a groovy design on them.
Botox, plastic surgery, rhinoplasty, which sounds like the disease your cat gets after it's been in a box for 3 weeks, are all incredibly common. In 2012, nearly 15 million people had an operation to change the structure of their body, and that's just in the US.
A typical high school graduation gift in South Korea is a nose job, or blepharoplasty, also known as double eyelid surgery. Over there, the culture of physical enhancement is completely saturated. It's crazy. In Seoul's Gangnam district, there are roughly 500 surgical centers per square mile. I mean, that's like you're walking down the red light district in Amsterdam. You go into an establishment and you know you're gonna pay for someone to do something nasty to your body. I mean, just imagine if this happens through genetic means now. It'd be crazy. It wouldn't be that bad, but right now, genetic enhancement isn't that well understood, with a lot of potential outcomes that we currently just don't have the means to explore, but will in the future.
At its most basic level, genetic enhancement is where you take some DNA and through some fancy techniques like CRISPR-Cas9, change it so that it tells someone's body how to be different and or better.
A zebrafish has the ability to regenerate cells on command. If you can somehow give this ability to the woman you're talking about, that's that. She's curing herself.
Some enhancements create abilities that are not available naturally. Think superheroes, or everybody can play piano like Mozart. Others focus not only on screening for genetic diseases, which we already have, but modifying the related genes before birth in order to avoid them altogether.
Lastly, we have genetic alteration of physical appearance. We're talking, I want my baby to have the smile of George Clooney and the eyes of Audrey Hepburn. And there is a big difference between these types of genetic research. It's one thing to save Grandpa from Alzheimer's. It is entirely another to make your baby look like this.
So that's what we're here to talk to you guys about this afternoon. Why it may not be the best thing for society if your baby looks like Brad Pitt. And why the ethics surrounding this kind of situation are so concerning.
For instance, when we talk about protecting people from diseases, it's not about giving people opportunities they would not otherwise have access to. It's about bringing them on par with everyone else and saving them from a horrifying fate. Even in the case of ability enhancement, yes, editing someone's genes so they can breathe fire and become the Hulk is concerning. But say all you want about getting kids to run faster and get smarter, many families, especially wealthy ones, are already able to mold their children, such as enrollment into expensive schools, tennis lessons at the country club down the road. But unlike piano lessons or SAT tutoring, a child's genetically determined appearance cannot be changed by their parents. Societal constraints do not allow parents to mold their young child with cosmetic procedures. No parent is like, oh no, sorry Mary, can't come to baby's first birthday, we're getting him a nose job.
Because the decision to have plastic surgery is, in the vast majority of cases, an autonomous decision. Say what you will about these cosmetic enhancements, but that person chose to have that done to their body for themselves. This is not the case in genetic enhancement. This is not something that can be done after birth. It's not even in the womb. This is pre-womb stuff we're talking about here. We're talking when you're just a little swimmer, hoping for the best. At this embryonic stage, decisions are being made. That person, should they be born, had no say in those decisions. Now, some people argue, neither does anyone else. No one at that stage is going to be able to walk around some convenience store picking and choosing what their characteristics are going to be. Whether it be by chance or by their parents' choice, what you're born with, you're stuck with. And here's the issue with genetic manipulation of appearance. On one hand, you have a lottery, pure chance, and everyone more or less has the same odds. On the other hand, you have a selective advantage over others, and it's only available to the few. So this matters because of the simple advantage of being pretty. Teachers give better grades to more attractive students. Attractive candidates are more likely to be elected. Attractive applicants are more likely to be hired. This is a fact. This isn't fun for people like Collin. It's verging on a Christmas miracle that he got the gig to work alongside me here today. This isn't just and it isn't fair, but at least we have the same odds of looking pretty right now. Well, beauty is one designator that is not predetermined by socioeconomic status, by race, or by any other measure.
But let's take a minute to think about who would reap the benefits of unregulated genetic enhancement of appearance. The rich, the wealthy, the
millionaires and billionaires
of Wall Street. Would you really be okay with genetic enhancement as a concept if you could never hope to afford it, and your chances of making it big get crushed beneath the insurmountable forces of income inequality?
No. No, you would not.
Sure, plastic surgery isn't cheap either. It requires disposable income that many just don't have. But this is where timing matters. It's not, oh yay, Betty, your sweet 16 nose job looks just fabulous. It's from day one. From that embryonic stage with the gene editing, the enhanced would have an advantage.
And that's why this matters. Those who suggest that this is an acceptable course are suggesting that people with means should be able to remove themselves from the genetic lottery and be able to take control of aspects so many others can't. Not only can this decision contribute to even greater economic disparity, but they are suggesting that people tinker with what many people would argue was never meant to be tinkered with.
And this decision is being made without the input of the person it actually affects. It violates their autonomy and their right to exist without having been genetically modified. And if there's anything we've learned from the movies, it's that giving dumb white guys the power of demigods is never a good idea. That's our show. Good night.